Thank you very much. I'll follow the lead of Fokion and Megan, and I will speak in English. I'm not an economist. Unfortunately, I'm a lawyer in the financial market, so I will only speak anecdotally about the transactions that I'm seeing and the dialogue I'm having with investors as we speak. I think in my view, it's a very exciting time in the sense that with currency risk out of the table, a fiscally sound government, we see a lot of support, I think, in the international community for investment in Greece. I think the more interesting, what is one of the, in my view, biggest paradoxes in this debate is, on the one hand, we have Greece in desperate need of foreign capital. I think we need to be rolling out the red carpet to international capital markets more than anything. I mean, I'm counting 8 particular areas where the country needs billions of foreign investment, and that will only come from the international capital markets, I think, in joint venture with the local financial system. Public debt needs foreign investors to repay the public sector loans with financial markets debt. The NPL management and servicing and restructuring and resolution will need foreign investment. Privatizations need foreign investment and foreign capital. Corporate debt needs to be refinanced in the international markets. Corporate equity needs to be attracted. Foreign direct investment. Infrastructure needs a lot of capital from the international financial market. So I think point number 1 is that wherever we look across the public or private sector, across the capital structure, debt or equity or something else, I think we need to be open to international markets in a way that we have not been, and we need to put that at the forefront of the public debate, in my view. I think within market participants in the financial sector, within the major banks, one of which is run by Fokion, we see that debate, we see that effort. I'm not sure we see that in the public discourse more broadly. What's happening in the international community? I speak to a lot of the big foreign funds that are interested in tapping into Greek investment opportunities. I think there is a lot of momentum, especially in what I call the shadow banking system. I don't think we will see a lot of foreign capital from foreign banks. I think it's a different point that the local financial system will obviously support. But I think the majority of foreign capital will come from the hedge funds, the private equity funds, the infrastructure funds, distressed funds, perhaps. All these private market participants that raise financing in the wholesale markets, and then they make individual equity or credit decisions into their investment opportunities. And what all of these people are telling me anecdotally is that cash and money and capital is a commodity. They have it. There's an ocean, not just a pool, an ocean of foreign capital out there. They do have it, and I was meeting with one of the guys the other day, and he was very brutally honest. There is cash is a commodity. We need business opportunities and investment opportunities to deploy it, and we want to come to Greece. So I think that is a very positive thing, and there is no mention anymore of currency risk. I don't think so. But other things are cropping up. Other things are the issues, and I think they have been covered more or less by Fokion and Megan. I would say epigrammatically 3 particular points that are coming up in discussions again and again and again, with various degrees of strength or emphasis. One is the delay in completion. That's a market issue, it's an administrative issue, it's a legal issue. The point is very simple for these international investors. If the deal is large, if it's a €5 billion deal, I think people have more patience for the initial origination, the execution, the completion. They are a bit more patient with the administrative process, with approvals, with the auction process. If the tickets are smaller, and in the Greek economy, we're not going to do many €5 billion deals. The investments here are much smaller sizes. I think market participants lose the patience of seeing from the origination of the transaction right to completion years and years and years. And of course, the private sector is faster. Privatizations take much longer. But I think there is, rightly or wrongly, a perception or reality. But there is this feeling within the international investor community that things are just taking too much time to get to completion. Again, this is anecdotal view. But there is something there. The second point, I think Megan hit the nail on the head, legal institutions and the judiciary. I will try to be a bit more practical. Financial contracts, a debt investment or an equity investment in the share capital or the debt capital of a company are fundamentally incomplete contracts. The investor has given the money, and the money is in, and the investor has parted with the cash. What the investor is getting in return is a promise of future payment. That promise of future payment depends very much on unless the counterparty is willingly paying, but if the counterparty is not willingly paying or is defaulting either strategically or out of inability to pay, this incomplete contract results only in one reality, that a foreign investment is very much an investment in the local ability or the ability of the local judicial system and legal institutions to enforce the bargains that foreign investors have made, to enforce the promises that payment obligations will be met. And I think this is, to your earlier question about the reforms of the last few years, I think there's still a little bit of a gap, in my view, in the reform of the judiciary and the civil procedure and the whole infrastructure of ensuring that somebody somebody outside of Greece with a claim against a Greek investment opportunity in the long run will always go to court and find justice. And I think, again, either perception or reality, I think there is a degree of uncertainty on the ability of the local judicial infrastructure to make sure that the rules of the game are followed and that contractual bargains are met. And I think the third one, and certainly I'm not an expert, this is anecdotal evidence from discussions, but I want to put it on the table. Maybe people who disagree with me. I think the foreign investors are a little worried about what I call the criminalization of commerce, the criminalization of investment, the criminalization of deal doing. The idea that behind every deal, let alone in the public sector, but even in the private sector, behind every deal, there is a public prosecutor ready to create a huge uncertainty, damage reputations, destroy goodwill, and then in the end, nothing happens. Like so all of a sudden, things disappear from the public domain, except, and I have seen that on some of the largest deals in the country that I had the privilege of being involved in, foreign direct investors that ended up in this criminal brouhaha. In the end, the people who are involved never forget, and they never come back. That's the problem. They just don't want to come back if what's going to happen is this reputational damage, which is never resolved. So I'll leave it at that. That's not all bad news, by the way. There is I testify in front of you. There's a huge amount of interest and momentum. Greece is at the forefront of the investor community, but I think we need to address some of the points that we have made on this panel.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ τον κύριο Γκουτζίνη. Θα κρατήσω στην άκρη και θα επαναφέρω στη συνέχεια τη φράση που είπε για την ποινικοποίηση του εμπορίου, της επιχειρηματικότητας, θα έλεγα εν συνόλο μάλλον. Θέλω να σας ρωτήσω όμως το εξής. Η ποιότητα των κεφαλαίων που μπορεί να προσελκύσει δυνητικά η Ελλάδα έχει απασχολήσει πάρα πολύ το δημόσιο διάλογο. Πρέπει να μας απασχολεί η προέλευσή τους και η ποιότητά τους ή προς το παρόν εστιάζουμε στο να βρούμε κεφάλαια από όπου και αν προέρχονται?
My view is that, first of all, it takes two to tango. So somebody's offering the investment opportunity, whether it's a seller of an asset or an issuer of a security, debt or equity, or government selling down public infrastructure opportunities, concessions or assets. So certainly the seller or the issuer of the relevant financing security will obviously have their own criteria. I think that this is a high-quality problem that you're raising. I think Greece is in desperate need of foreign investment. I think the market will take care of it if the rules of the game, in my view, if the rules of the game are certain, the country is a Western democracy, member of the European Union, with competition laws, with strong environmental protections. I wouldn't make that a flagship issue. Let's just have certainty of execution, proper rules of the game, and let the marketplace identify investment opportunities and for the benefit of the young people of this country who are unfortunately voting with their feet and establish themselves elsewhere.